like you said, special ed director at Cincinnati College Preparatory Academy. I came by, like we had discussed, this is a second career for me, education is. I come from the corporate world, believe it or not. And when I decided that we were going to have children, I wanted to dedicate that time. It goes by really, really fast, so I
Yes, it
didn't want to miss
does.
it. So
It does.
I decided that I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom for a little bit and leave the rat race and the corporate world behind for a while. And then when my children went to school, we ended up moving here to Cincinnati, and my oldest was in first grade, and I had a preschooler. And I went to this little school in the Northwest local school district, and they needed a room mom, like a volunteer. So I started in that route, and then I got to meet all the staff, and they realized that I speak Spanish. I'm fully bilingual, and there was an influx of Hispanic migrants in the community at that point, and they needed somebody to help them with that. And I was like, sure, my kids go to this school. I can be with my kids and get paid for it. Why
Yeah,
not? That
right?
sounds like a great
Exactly. Yeah.
idea.
Uh-huh. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Brighter Together podcast. My name is Janet Courtney, and my special guest today is Ada Pineiro. Ada is a special education director at Cincinnati College Preparatory Academy in Cincinnati, Ohio. Ada, thank you for being here today.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
So tell us, Ada, a little bit about you. I know you have an interesting background, and I'd love to share some of that with our listeners, and a little bit about Cincinnati College Prep.
Sure. Well, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Thanks for being here,
I
by the way.
am, like you said, a special ed director at Cincinnati College Preparatory Academy. I came by, like we had discussed, this is a second career for me, education is. I come from the corporate world, believe it or not. And when I decided that we were going to have children, I wanted to dedicate that time. It goes by really, really fast, so I
Yes, it
didn't want to miss
does.
it. So
It does.
I decided that I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom for a little bit and leave the rat race and the corporate world behind for a while. And then when my children went to school, we ended up moving here to Cincinnati, and my oldest was in first grade, and I had a preschooler. And I went to this little school in the Northwest local school district, and they needed a room mom, like a volunteer. So I started in that route, and then I got to meet all the staff, and they realized that I speak Spanish. I'm fully bilingual, and there was an influx of Hispanic migrants in the community at that point, and they needed somebody to help them with that. And I was like, sure, my kids go to this school. I can be with my kids and get paid for it. Why
Yeah,
not? That
right?
sounds like a great
Exactly. Yeah.
idea.
Uh-huh.
And then, so I started as a paraprofessional. I did lunch duty, I did recess duty,
Wow.
anything. And then it developed into being an assistant to the special education intervention specialist. And so at that point, I was surprised at how much I loved it. I never knew that that is what I was meant to do with my life until that very moment. But here I am, a grown woman with two children, just doing this little job. And so my intervention specialist at that point, the coordinator was like, "You have it. Just go back and try it again." And so I did that, and then became an intervention specialist in the elementary and started my career that way. I loved the little kids. And then when it was time to move on to being a grown-up teacher, as they say, right? Do you want to expand and do other things? I was lucky enough to come to this little charter school, not so little charter school now, CCPA. And they hired me, and I'm so grateful. I did middle school and high school at the beginning, which was a really big change going from
Oh,
like
yeah. The little
K3
ones.
to
Yeah.
like the bigger kids, and I'm not a tall or big person, so these kids are, like, bigger than me, and I'm like this,
Yeah.
and so that was a challenge, and, so I've done every single job in education that you could possibly imagine, from picking up a garbage to now here I am
Yeah.
all these years. I'm not gonna say how many years later, but is truly a blessing. I love this school. I love this community. We are located in Lynn Street, 1425 Lynn Street, and so our demographic is very high needs, high poverty, high crime area. So, we serve, I would say that 90 to 95% of our student body is African American. We have some Hispanic and some white students, but our majority is an African American school. It is the West End, so it's a very proud community, very involved, community members. So we have a lot of board members and volunteers that come and help our kids, with whatever they can. And that's how I ended up being
Wow.
director. I through the ranks, had to
Nice.
do the work, and now I'm at, my home that I love, and so I get to do a job that I love for people that I love every day.
So is it a charter school within a district? Is that how is what
It
is your
is
structure? I'm curious.
So, we are our own district because we are K-12.
Okay.
So we have 3 buildings on Lynn Street. One serves the elementary, one serves the middle school, one serves the high school. We have probably we were probably one of the first charter schools to offer K-12. There's not a lot of high school charter schools. High school is really hard, as you know, so there's a lot of requirements, and, so we are in a unique position that we could have students go from K all the
All the
way
way
to
to the end,
graduate with
graduation,
us
yeah.
and be
Mhm.
legacy students, so that's really wonderful to have.
Mhm.
Um, so we are our own district. Um, but, like, transportation and things like that is offered by Cincinnati Public
Gotcha.
Schools.
Okay.
So, there is still some relationship there.
Right.
Mhm.
Right. Yeah. And so how many students do you guys have currently enrolled?
I think we have a little over 1,000 students,
So you're
K through
not
12.
small. Not
No, not
small.
anymore.
No.
We're getting there.
Yeah.
We just had to build a new high school, so that was
Wow.
very exciting to serve our students. We have a full middle school, 6th through 8th.
Okay.
And yeah, so I say little, we're not that little.
Mm.
But for me, it's still a community
Yeah.
school. We still serve the community. And so it gives a very familial environment
Yeah.
where we have a lot of families from our area, which is wonderful. But we're starting to get families from other districts nearby that want to come to our school because of the things that we can offer.
There's a big difference between being supported by somebody who's walked in your shoes and someone who hasn't. At Lighthouse Therapy, our leadership team is made of experienced clinicians who've actually worked in schools. We understand the pressure you're under and what real support looks like. That's why our therapy solutions, whether it be virtual, hybrid, or in person, are built with you in mind. No complicated systems or red tape, just streamlined support and seasoned therapists who are ready to make a difference. Learn more at lighthouse-therapy.com/brighter together.
For example, 100% graduation rate. Like, that is not something
Wow.
that is easily achieved in in a regular public school, let alone a charter school. So,
And then add the you
we're a
add
little
the
gem.
you add the tough socioeconomic situation on
Yes.
top of that.
Mhm.
That's really an impressive
Yes.
number right there. So
Yes,
congratulations.
yes, and oh, thank
Yeah.
you. We are very proud.
Mhm.
We, are able to graduate our students. Those of them who want to go to college are able to do so. We have received, I think it was $3 million in scholarships for our students just from their efforts in, academics alone. We have a great football program. We have great basketball program for our student athletes as well. And we have a National Honor Society chapter that is very active and goes to the conferences. They fundraise for that. I am one of the advisors for it. So I get to participate in that, and I love that I can do high performing kids in National Honor Society, and I can help, special education kids at the same time. And sometimes those worlds are interlaced together. We have students that are special education that are National Honor Society
Yeah.
members just because of their grit
Right.
for their education.
Yeah. Yeah, special needs doesn't necessarily mean that you
Nope,
don't have the ability to learn
not at
because
all.
they all have they all learn. They just
That's
learn
right.
differently, don't they?
Different, yes, and
Absolutely.
our job is to make sure that that is accessible to
Right.
them, so
Right.
every program in the school is accessible to all students.
Nice, very nice. So tell us some of the things I mean, you've already talked about some of it, but tell us some of the amazing
Mhm.
things that you guys have going on specifically in your department.
So, like I said, for me, the one of the biggest joys is that we are able to graduate all our students with a regular diploma. So since the requirements for alternate assessment changed, a couple of years back, um, not not everybody qualifies for alternate assessment. So our students do have to take the Ohio State test that everybody else takes, right? And so it is up to us, the special educators, to make sure that they have all the accommodations that they need, that they have a good environment to perform in that way. And I'm very proud of the job that my staff does in getting those results and those graduation requirements that are needed for our special population. They do need to take the ACT, they do need to take the state test, and they need to have some, performance scores to do that. And so we have been able to create an environment and a culture where our special education students are able to succeed at the same rate as gen ed students, which is ultimately the goal and the purpose of special education. So it is really a feather in CCPA's cap that they're able to graduate all their special education students with a regular diploma, just like everybody else. And not only that, they also get to participate in other career programs. We had a special ed student graduate last year from an STNA nursing program. So she graduated high school with her high school degree and with an STNA degree from Cincinnati State. So that for me, I had tears in my eyes because it had to be so hard for her to um, remove herself from the comfort of CCPA where we do everything that we can and just to kind of throw her out there to Cincinnati State and having to go to those classes and be successful is truly a testament to her intervention specialists that prepared her to be able to do that in the real world, right? Without necessarily those guardrails, but we gave her the tools that she needed to be able to do that. And so we've had that. All our special education students graduate with either a boom lift operator license or the crane operating license. Before it used to be a forklift license. So they leave us with tools to join the workforce as soon as they leave CCPA. We also have a great relationship with Cincinnati Works. They come and talk to all our students, but our special ed students also get to participate in those programs where they get job placement help, internships to do all kind of mechanical labor, or if they want to work at a hospital and be like an assistant in the hospital, they're able to do that too with those relationships that we have in the community.
Nice. Very, very
Mm-hmm.
nice. That's amazing. I love that. It's so important for the, you know, that they don't just graduate and then not have
Mm-hmm.
anywhere to go or any plans
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
finding out what they like and being able to do that is just incredible.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. Wow. Wow. So, so what would you say are probably some of your biggest challenges right now?
Um, well, like any school, attendance is a big problem. and the use of electronics is a big problem as well. But that is across the board. And I would say that's true for all students. For our special population, I think an issue is and always has been what life looks like after graduation. We always hope that we're doing our best to prepare them for life after graduation, but in our current labor markets, it's harder and harder for students to find their way to be able to do these kinds of things. And as funding gets cut for special programs, it makes it even harder for them to have access to the help that they need after graduation. So that is a big roadblock for us for sure. Like I said, we do our best to make sure that they have several tools when they leave us. And because of the community that we are in, we have a lot of return students that come whenever they need assistance or if they need help preparing for interviews or whatever it is that they need. And there's always a space for them to come and ask for that help. That's one of the benefits of being a community school that serves the community where it lives, right? So that is a roadblock for us. Um, that we try really hard. We have a lot of successes, but as the world turns, right? That we also have a lot of struggles with that. So
Yeah.
all we can do is do our best to always have an open door policy for our returning students.
Yeah, yeah. So how are you support how what is your philosophy as far as like leading and working with your coordinators or your teachers or your intervention specialists? I mean, your team. I know you probably have a
Yeah.
lot of people around you that make it happen, right? So,
Yeah. Well, like I said, we are a small department for special ed. Right now, I host 14 special educators, intervention
mm-hmm,
specialists. We have an occupational therapist and a speech pathologist.
mm-hmm,
And we have a relationship with Hamilton County ESC, and they do our the school psychology services.
mm-hmm.
We get them through that because it's more cost efficient
Right?
for us,
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
and they are professionals, right?
Yeah.
They are on the first to know about any changes with legislation or anything like that. So it keeps us compliant,
Nice.
which is a top priority for
Mm-hmm.
us, obviously. Um, and I am a very no man is an island, right? It takes a team, and so we that's how I like to lead. I don't consider myself like a boss. I'm just part of a team and I'm here to make sure that they have everything they need to do their jobs well, right? Um they know what to do, right? They're trained, they're licensed, they know what to do. As far as my leadership, I'm just here to make sure that they can do their jobs to the best of their abilities, whatever materials they need, whatever support they need. Um and then to make sure that we are in itself a community within a community. So we know that if a student is in grade K, eventually he's going to be a high schooler. So we all have to be involved in the growth and the academic success of that little kindergartner. So we do have, team audits where we all participate. It's all a learning opportunity. Things change a lot.
Oh yeah.
So
Right.
where there's no expectation that anybody is going to know everything. So it is always a learning team-based opportunity.
Nice, very nice. Yeah, when
Mm,
it's, I love that you have that that support too, because I was thinking about that. It was like when you were talking about changes, I was like, sometimes it feels like it's daily.
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
every time you
yeah.
turn around, it's like,
Like, they're changing the forms,
yeah,
but we don't know what the forms are gonna look like,
right.
so hold tight.
We'll
Yeah,
get that to you when we have
as
it.
soon as whenever.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, exactly. Did we get it yet? And then, no, not
Yeah,
yet. I
just
totally
keep
am.
doing it the old way until we
Yeah,
change
yeah,
it. Yeah,
exactly,
so
right? Yeah. We're going to keep doing
yes,
it that
yes.
way, and then they're going to tell you
Mhm.
in a month that you've been doing it wrong for a month, but that's okay because we didn't
But that's
know.
okay because nobody knew, nobody
I
knows.
know.
So it's fine.
Yeah.
It's all fine.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, and I just try to keep as updated as I
Yeah,
can. We go to task
for
force
sure.
meetings for the county and just to make sure that we are on top of it, that we are compliant because when we're not, our students suffer.
Yeah,
So, and that's like our priority always
yeah.
is we're here for the kids.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So do you guys, it's April 9th today. So
Mhm.
do you go through May or are you into June? When is school done for your kids?
We 5 Mondays.
5 more Mondays.
5 more
Ah, you're
Mondays.
almost done.
We're in the thick of OSD testing
Yep.
now,
Hmm.
so it is a little nuts, right? It's like an all hands on deck situation. We make sure that our students get all their accommodations as required. We make sure they have a great testing environment because, like I said, they have to take the same test everybody else does. It doesn't mean that it has to look the same as everybody else, right?
Yeah.
So we do small groups and we do everything that we can to make sure that they are successful. And we have a good track record of having our special education students do well.
Hmm.
So I just kind of hope to continue that
Yeah.
tradition just to empower them and to show our students that they can do hard
Hmm.
things.
And OSD, I'm assuming is Ohio State
State standard
standard
test, yes, is
testing.
the state test
Yeah.
that every school has to participate. Every state has their own version of
Yep.
it.
Yep. For
Um,
sure.
and
For sure.
so we have to
And it's certain grade
participate.
levels, right? I mean, there are certain grade. It's not
Yes,
every
it's
grade that
3rd
has. Yeah.
grade.
Okay. So yeah.
No, it's 3rd grade through
Okay.
11th. They all take some form of state
Wow.
tests. They add science at some grade levels, and then obviously high school you have to take government
Yeah.
and all that stuff. So
Wow.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Skates.
It's
We're
good
on
though. You
skates.
got it. You got it. You
It's
got it. Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. We got a good plan. We got a good
That's it.
plan.
And that's the thing, it's like this is going to come out and you're going to be all done. Because we're
Ah.
about 5-6 weeks out is
Oh,
when this
okay. Got it.
once we do the recording, then it's about 5 or 6 weeks before you are like number 236, I think. Yeah, I know.
Wow.
It's incredible. It's been amazing to do
That's
this.
wonderful.
But we just published 200 today, so only got 36. There's 36 in the queue, so it's not too bad. We have a podcast producer who's doing a great job, and it's just been such a blessing to be able to talk to different districts and just the amazing things that are happening in education. I love what you guys are doing, and it's just so. It's just inspiring to see people that just have so much passion for the kids and for what they're
Yeah.
doing. And even
Yeah.
even at the beginning you said, you are somebody who's thinking about the parents too. Like that
Yeah.
is a priority. I knew that from the moment I started talking to you. You were saying how important it is that the parents understand,
Yes.
can you touch on
Yeah.
that just a little bit for me?
Yeah. Well, like I said, we serve the community where we live. And so it we get to see some of our parents every day, right? They come, they pick up their kids. Some parents are employed by the school. It's a big school, so there's a lot of job opportunity. But it is really important that we have the parents' collaboration when it comes to their child's education because they are who their kids look to for guidance in everyday life. Like, is this important? If it's important to the parent, it'll be important to the student. And so we always try to um, make sure that we are always reaching out to parents. CCPA is really good about doing community involvement events. We have a beginning of the year event where it's the entire community is invited to participate. They have health fairs and things like that to invite the community to come and see us. We have Christmas programs and like History Month programs and Hispanic Heritage programs that are open to our community. And obviously, we see these kids for years and years that are a part of our schools. And
Yeah.
so we have parents who went to the school bringing their kids to school, which is mind blowing to
Yes.
me to see some students bringing their little babies. I'm like, I am not old
That's
enough
right. You're not old
for
enough for that.
this.
No, 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 no. We're not old enough for that
No,
yet. I love
no. And
that.
to have like our superintendent see like parents and say, I taught him in sixth grade.
Yeah.
And so it's a wonderful, wonderful community
Yeah.
to be a part of. And parents are the main
Yeah.
ingredient, right? They are the ones that make the choice to enroll their kids in the school and to make the choice to participate in these activities and make us welcome in the community. So if we don't have parent buy-in, then the education's not going to work. So it needs to be a true collaboration and a true partnership. We're raising these children together. So it is always important. And obviously, in IEP meetings and with special education, it is parent consent that starts everything. If we don't have parent consent, we are a non-starter, and so it is imperative that parents work with us and that we work in turn with parents to make sure that our kids are
Right.
successful.
Yeah. So tell
Mhm.
people where they would go if they wanted to learn a little bit more about CCPA.
So we have Facebook.
Okay.
So we have a CCPA, Cincinnati College Preparatory Academy Facebook page, or they can just go to Cincinnati College Preparatoryacademy.com and see us in there. You'll see a lot of fun pictures and things of our sporting events and our open house, which is coming up in August. I feel like that's so far away and yet so
Yes.
close.
Yes.
Yeah, just we are at 1425 Lynn Street, Cincinnati, Ohio.
Nice.
Come on and take a look.
Awesome. Well, Ada, it has been an absolute pleasure. Thank you for your time and for your passion and for being on Brighter Together because, like you said, it takes a village. It takes so many people, and that's why we are brighter together, right? So,
Yes,
so thank you
absolutely.
so
Thank
much.
you for having me. It was such a pleasure.
Absolutely.
I love talking about myself. I love talking about CCPA.
Absolutely. It's a good thing because you love what you
Yes,
do and the passion comes
I
through. It
do.
really does. And
Oh,
that's the
thank
thing I
you.
love to see is people that love the kids because I always say, we just are getting educators are not getting getting a bad rap, and it's
Yeah,
not fair.
yeah,
It's not a
yeah,
fair picture of what's happening in education. So
yeah,
that's why we do what we do. Give you guys an opportunity to
yeah.
talk about it. So
It's hard times out there, but
yeah.
we're gonna make it. We've been here long
Yeah.
enough.
Yeah.
We
Keep doing it.
people.
We keep doing it. Keep doing it.
Yes.
Absolutely. All right. Well, God bless you. Thank you for being here and have a great
Thank
rest
you.
of your semester.
Thank you.